Saturday night live mindset training. I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've done one. Those of you who know me know how I do my mindset trainings, and those of you who's here for the first time, welcome. I gotta shake off the ring dust, the rust. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm probably maybe 6 months, 6 months, but it's time to bring it back out again, and I'm excited for this. We're in a season of transition. That's what I like to call them. When you're in a season of transition, you got to get your mind right. You've got to change and shift your thinking because you cannot go somewhere new with that same old thought process. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to go ahead and jump into this because I don't want to keep you long tonight. But attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. No, attitude is a big thing that makes all the difference in the world. It is all about your attitude, how you view things. It's not what happens to you in life that's important. It's how you react to it. You can have two people go through the same exact circumstances or incident in life, yet one person comes out of it strong and another person crumbles. Why is that? See, we all share the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Every single one of us, we're born with the same amount of time. It's what we do during that time that makes a difference and how we handle obstacles. Because I got to tell you, life is going to hit you no matter who you are, no matter what color you are, no matter what gender or race you are. Some have it harder than others. But what's going to determine your status in life is your ability to have the right attitude to overcome those obstacles. I'm going to give you an example. There's a guy who works a 9 to 5 job, and he hates his job. He's barely making enough money to pay his bills. You know that old saying, when you're on a 9 to 5 job, they pay you just enough money so you don't quit, and you work hard, just hard enough so that you don't get fired. But he wants something better, and he decides to pray to God for something better. And he is very emotional about it, and he's fervently praying for it. One day he wakes up, he goes to his job. They pull him in the office and they say, your services are no longer required. This happens all the time. It happened to me twice. And so he goes home. Here's the difference. He can go two ways with this. Let's say this happened to two people at the same exact time. The guy says, you know what? I was praying for a better situation. I was praying that I can have more money, so I can be happy. Instead, I get laid off, fired, and I'm in a worse situation than I was before. You know what? Screw you, God. And then that form of thinking takes a downward spiral because now he's got negativity in his heart and his mind. He might start doing things that he shouldn't, like drinking or doing drugs to cope with it, and blaming everybody for his lot in life. Whereas another person sees opportunity in the fact that he got laid off or fired, puts his head down, goes to work to look for another job, ends up getting another job a month later that's paying more money than he was making before, is closer to home, better benefits, and a better situation. Now, had he not gotten laid off from that job, he would not have gotten the new job or the new opportunity. He had to, for things to happen, you've got to have the right mindset to be prepared for it, to be open for it. Your prayers are answered, just not in the ways you may be looking. And when you have a closed off mind, nothing can come through. Attitude is everything. You got to have the right attitude. Now, I'm going to give you a little assignment here. Because at the video that you saw right when you came on, those of you who come on early might have learned I start playing motivational videos 15 minutes before every presentation if you want to get that kick. But know your why. When you know your why, the what doesn't matter. Know your why. I have an old video. You can go on YouTube and do a YouTube search called Focus on the Goal and Not the Task. Focus on the goal. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it because you want to spend more time with family? Better education for your kids? You want to buy a new home? You want to be debt free? Family vacation? You want to be able to give more to church, retirement, boat car, or you know what? All of that sounds good, but that's not good enough. I heard one leader say, you know, your why is something that makes you cry because you're eliciting an emotional reaction. And they say emotions is the most powerful force in the universe. However, that saying is not true because people cry all the freaking time. We always crying about something. Crying does not move you into action. Crying is just an emotional release. Your why has to be deeper than this. In fact, I'm going to give you an assignment. Before you go to sleep tonight, I want you to think about what would you do if money was no longer an issue in your life? What does that mean? Because most people never think about this after they become an adult. As kids, yes. But what would you do with your life if you already have all the time in the world? You wake up when you're finished sleeping. You've taken all the vacations you could possibly take. You got it out of your system. You tithe more to the church than ever before. Your kids' tuition and their kids' and your grandchildren's tuition is paid for. You've got a house on the East Coast and West Coast and a summer and a winter home. You've been debt free. You've taken your spending sprees in Paris, New York, and Beverly Hills. You've bought all of your cars and your boats and your RVs and your toys. And 1 year later, after you went on this spending spree, you wake up one morning and you realize there's absolutely nothing you can think of buying because you've already done so, and you have more money in the bank account than you did before your buying spree. What would you do with your time? See, the reason why most people never even entertain this thought, because they're already thinking, I got to go to work on Monday morning. I have to spend 40 to 80 hours a week on a job. When I come home, I'm tired. I want to eat dinner, maybe spending 2 hours watching TV with the wife, play with the kid, go to sleep and do it all over again, and think maybe what can I do on the weekends? Go fishing or something. And you do that for 40 years. You're not given time to think, to dream anymore, to even think about what do you really desire, because you say that's fantasy land. I need to live in reality. So I'm only going to focus on reality. I'm never going to focus on the things I actually desire because I don't believe they will ever come true, and it's a waste of my time. That's how most people think. But I want you to throw all of that out of the window, and I want you to ask yourself tonight, if money was no longer an issue and you had all the things in the world, what would you do with your time? Because I'm going to tell you right now, money is not the key to happiness. Money is nothing but a resource. It's energy that gives you freedom. Freedom to do what God has given you talent on this earth to do. Your job is try to figure out just what that is. What would you do if you didn't have to worry about making money? What pleases you? Is it helping people? Is it doing music? Is it doing art? Is it public speaking? Whatever it is, identify it. Identify it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to act as if. You know, you might have heard this old saying, fake it till you make it. That's bogus. That's BS. You want to act as if. That's something my father taught me at a young age. Act as if you are the smartest person in the class. Act as if you're the president of the United States. Act as if you're the richest person in the room. Act as if you already have what it is that you desire. Because by doing so, the law of the universe takes over. And it has no choice but to deliver to you what it is you are acting as. It's all in the mindset. Most people have negative thoughts consistently. And that's what the world and the universe gives you. Your brain is nothing but a receptor. It is a magnet. It attracts to it what it thinks about all the time. I wish I had, you know what? No, I only do that once a year, December, when I do the secret training. I got it on YouTube. You want to go back? I think I have 3 of them from years ago. I don't want to go too deep into that tonight. From just basic stuff, because you don't need to understand the law for it to work for you. You don't need to understand it. It's a law. You don't need to understand gravity for gravity to work. You don't need to understand why an airplane flies for an airplane to fly. It's just it is. Same concept here. So here's what you're going to do. I want you to believe you already have achieved this. And there's the most important part, and it is the part that has made Tony Robbins so filthy rich. What sets him apart from other motivational speakers. How does it make you feel? You just can't think about the words. How does it make you feel to be able to do whatever it is you want to do and never have to worry about money again? How does that make you feel? You must capture that feeling as if you already have it, and then go to sleep. So you're not giving yourself time to doubt yourself again. Go to sleep, because while you're asleep, your subconscious is still wide awake. And that last thought process is swirling in your head over and over and over again for the next 7 to 8 hours. I guarantee you're going to wake up feeling better. You may not even know why. You may not even remember what you dreamed about. But you will feel a little better. But if this is your first time doing it, that's going to fade very quick, because you're going to snap back to reality when you realize, oh, I got to go to work. But this is a process. This is an exercise you must do repeatedly. Do it again when you wake up in the morning. Do it again on your lunch break or in the afternoon. Do it 3 times a day. Allow yourself that quick 5 to 10 minutes of putting yourself in dream mode of what it is that you desire. What you're doing is you're rewiring your brain, so that your brain can start to attract these things to you. So your brain doesn't understand reality. Your brain doesn't have eyesight. Your brain only knows what you tell it. So if you're constantly telling your brain that you're sick, that you're broke, that you're downtrodden, that things just don't go your way, your brain, that's all it knows. It's going to give you that. But if you trick your brain into believing that you're already wealthy, then the brain is going to attract stuff to you of what you're already believing, of wealth. See, Henry Ford said something famous. Because he wasn't the smartest guy in the room. Never was. Two things he said famous. He said, number one, I don't need to be smart. I'll just hire people smarter than me. And he said, number two, if I were to lose all of my money today, the first thing I would do is go to wherever wealthy people are, and I would hang out there and just soak up their energy. The law of the universe, the law of success, the secret. Whole nother topic. But this is practical use for you, that you can start to rewire your brain. And you're going to notice things are going to start to happen in your life. And you're not going to understand where it came from. At the end of this, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to use myself as an example at the end if you stick around for this. I like that, Plasma. What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Chad Helmstetter. I never finished that book. I have it. So that's the first thing you're going to do. Here's the next step. You must set short-term and long-term goals. Goal setting is so important. Where do you see yourself 30 days from now, 60 days from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? Set the goal. I didn't say set the task. I don't say write down what you need to do to get there first. First, decide on where you want to be. And then you work backwards. It's like building a house. Do you start building the foundation before you know what the house is going to look like? Or do you have the house already drawn up? You already have the plans made up. And then you build it. Same concept. You've got to know what you're building for. You've got to know where you're going, where your destination is. See, if I'm in LA and I say, I want to go to New York, That's my goal. That's my destination. There's many ways of getting there. I can get on an airplane. I can get on a train. I could drive. I can get on a bus. I can get on a motorcycle. I can walk. There's many ways of getting there. There's just different advantages and disadvantages of different things. So I don't say I'm going to get on a plane and then choose where I want the plane to fly. I already have a destination chosen, and then I get on the plane. You must have your destination chosen. You must know where you want to be. How much money do you want to make? Where do you want to end up with? And then you set the daily task of what needs to be done to get there. It takes time to grow anything. I say it, everybody knows I'm dead set all up in crypto world right now. And I talk about planting seeds. Most people will wait till December 31st to do their New Year's resolution. And when they do their New Year's resolution, it's mostly, I want to lose weight and make more money for the new year. They haven't developed a habit yet. They haven't developed anything yet to make that happen. They basically start from scratch on the January 1st. And it may last, they may put in a good effort. It may last 2 to 3 weeks before the old habits take over. What wealthy people do, they use the fourth quarter to prepare for the new year. So that by the time January 1st comes, they're already sprinting into the new year, not just starting. So I look at New Year's resolution begins on October 1st. Now you've got 90 days to plant your seed and water it. The thing about planting seeds and water it is you don't know when it's going to grow. It's like the bamboo tree. You plant a bamboo and you water it, nothing happens. Another year, you water it, nothing happens. Years go by, you water it, and nothing happens. Then all of a sudden, when it breaks ground, it becomes one of the fastest growing trees in the world. But had you stopped watering it during those times where nothing happened, it would not have ever sprouted. The same thing now. You'll plant your seed, you'll water it, nothing happens. Water it, nothing happens. You go, man, nothing's happening. I give up. I quit. I've been there before. See, the one thing when you hear my story, Jared Coleman's story, the last 12 months has been in that situation. Well, we've planted seed after seed after seed. Water it, water it, and water it. Do you know when it started to grow? About 60 days ago. After 12 months of watering it. 60 days ago. You just have to keep moving forward, keep watering it, and know that it's going to take some time. Stay consistent and work your business. It won't work unless you work it. I had this back, back my MLM days. I had one guy come up to me and say, Brandon, I'm quitting. It doesn't work for me. What do you mean it doesn't work for you? Well, it's a scam. I'm paying money every month. It's not working for me. I don't have anybody in my business. And I'm like, let me ask you a question. You've been in for 2 months. How many presentations have you been on? One, the first one when I came in. Okay. How many trainings have you been to? None. How many three-way calls have you done with me? One. How many guests have you invited to a presentation? One. And how many people do you have on your team? One. I said, so you're batting 1,000. Why don't you attend more presentations? Why don't you attend more training? Why don't you do more three-way calls? Why don't you talk to more people? Why don't you work your freaking business? You expect things to be handed to you just because you signed up and you're paying your monthly auto ship. Work your damn business. It's amazing. People will stress themselves, work themselves to death on a 9-to-5 job for a company they don't like, to work with people they can't stand. Dead tired 60, 70 hours a week. But get in their own business and won't lift a finger on it, expect to be rich in 3 months. That blows my mind, and I already know that why. See, most people, all our lives, we're told what to do. We've always had somebody to answer to, a boss, a teacher, a parent, some type of authority to tell us what to do. And we know there's consequences if we don't do it. See, when you become a business owner and an entrepreneur, you answer to nobody but yourself. And most people aren't disciplined enough to punish themselves if they don't do what they're supposed to do. It's easy to be lazy and procrastinate. I am a big procrastinator on that. As much as some of you may think I work hard, personally, I know there's so much more I can do. That's personal, but you've got to work your business, whatever business that is. You cannot expect to reap a harvest if you have not sowed any seed. You must put in some time if you want to get time. I mean, that's self-evident. Here's something else that's very important. Ignorance on fire is way better than intelligence on ice, aka a paralysis of analysis. I did a three-way call earlier, and a gentleman was asking me some questions about, our business. And I was giving him simple answers, and he was a little frustrated because he wanted to know more detail. I'm like, that's it. He said, no, I don't think you understand. Like break it down to me. I said, I did. He said, that's it? Are you telling me that's it? I said, that's it. It's simple. Keep things simple. How you have so much success? I said, because I'm excited. You light somebody on fire, people will come to watch them burn. Your excitement is what's going to be attractive. People sign up with people, not with businesses, not with opportunities. So how do you become attractive to attract people to you? Yeah, I've been the #1 recruiter of everything that I've done the last 8 years, but I am not a recruiter. I attract people to me. I don't do cold calls. I don't spam somebody's box with, you got to join my business. I don't sit on the phone all day calling people up. Hey, are you open for an opportunity? Are you open for an opportunity? You got to check this out. No. I just share excitement about what I do and people come to me. It's the reverse. Ignorance on fire is better than intelligence on ice. I always figure things out as I go. You know how I might be good at explaining comp plans, but I'll be honest with you. I know how to read a presentation. Doesn't necessarily mean I fully understand it. One company I was in where it only took less than 90 days to get to 12,000 a month, and I was doing the presentations from day one. I didn't finally figure out the comp plan and understand it, have my head wrapped around it, until 4 months in the business. I said, you know what? I'll get paid, and I'll figure out why I got paid. I'll just put my head down and go to work, and we'll see what happens. That's how I operate. Another reason for that is, and I don't share this too often, but I actually have a learning disability. My learning disability is called auditory processing disorder. I have a hard time processing things that I see and things that I hear. I have to go over it over and over and over again in my head to get it. Here's one of the reasons why I am so disciplined when I study, because I got diagnosed in college. They said, you're going through school with one arm tied behind your back. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she would scratch her head when she saw my study techniques. How I would literally highlight and retype an entire chapter. She's like, why don't you just read it? No, I don't get it that way. I retype the entire chapter and had notes on it. She's like, what in the world are you doing? That's how I learn. I'm the same way today. I'm also able to fake understanding things because I get embarrassed. I've been doing it for so long, people can't tell. 50% of the time, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just don't let you know that. And then when we get off the phone, I go back and study and realize, okay, that's what it meant. So by the time we have the next conversation, I'm up to speed with you. That's my own self mechanism. And if I can get this, anybody can. Ignorance on fire. To start, you need to develop the right mental attitude, have long-term thinking. Treat your business like it's $1 million business, not a $100 business. That's the other thing about it. Too many people think, I'll put my toe in the water and see how it works out. I'll test it out. If I make 10 grand, then I'll take it serious. Nope. Nope. You've got to treat your business as if your life depends on it, because in most cases it does. If you don't value your business, the people you're talking to aren't going to have value for your business. I have no tolerance for people that have no value for my business. But it starts with you. You first got to have pride in what you have. The most important things, I got to update this old slide. The most important things you can bring to your business is work ethic, desire, commitment, be coachable, and have excitement. Work ethic. I apply Will Smith when Will Smith says, if me and you get on a treadmill, two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to outlast you or I'm going to die trying. That's my mentality. I don't go to sleep until before 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone said, well, that's easy for you to say, Brandon. You don't have a job. You know what? I worked harder in my business when I had a job than I do now. Here was my scenario when I had a job. My job, I would have to get up at 6 in the morning, try to eat breakfast, and be on the road between 6:30 and 6:45 just to get to work by 8 because of traffic. I would get off work at 5 o'clock, but because of traffic, I wouldn't get home to 6 or 6:30. Try to eat dinner. Do webinars and presentations because I'm on the West Coast. That means it's already 9, 10 o'clock Eastern time, and that's when everybody starts calling me. A lot of times, I don't even get to eat dinner. Literally, as soon as I'm walking the door, my phone's ringing. Somebody's got a question. Somebody's got a three-way call. Somebody wants me to be their tech service because they forgot the password or they can't figure out how to do this or that. You guys know how it is. Some of you guys call me about that stuff. So I got to be available to answer those questions and be the expert. See, they already ate dinner and had spent time with their family. I haven't yet. So by the time that's all over, then I eat dinner around 10 o'clock West Coast time. That's already 1 a.m. for East Coast. Try to spend some time with my wife. Kids are already asleep. By the time my wife goes to sleep, that means now I can put in work on my business. And I've got a good 2 or 3 hours to work my business where I don't have any interruptions. So I would be up until 2:30 in the morning. Go to sleep, get 4 hours sleep, and I'm up going to work doing the same thing over and over again. Doing three-way calls on my lunch break, sneaking to be on my phone at my desk to work my business. See, in my mind, I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to work harder on this job that somebody else owns than I'm going to work in my own business that I own. That was my work ethic. My desire was strong. What was my desire? Freedom. Freedom. I was committed to it. And the be coachable part only came because, and I said this on a Facebook Live the other day, you want to have success in anything. Find somebody who is already having success in the field that you want to have success in. Find out exactly what they're doing and then do just a little bit more. Be coachable. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. And then last but not least, have excitement. You've got to be excited. You see our Facebook Live. You see what I do. You see what Jairus does. We're excited. But you can't wait. Well, when I make money, then I'll get excited. Nope. 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 Doesn't work that way. I remember when my mother, when I was a kid, going to Sunday school and all that. And I remember when I got sick. I don't know if I was 5 or 6 at the time. I had chicken pox. And my mom was saying, before I go to bed, pray to God and be thankful for healing you. And I said, okay, when I feel better, I'll thank God for healing me. No, 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 no. You must give thanks right now for healing you. I said, Mom, what are you talking about? I'm still sick. How can I give thanks for something I'm still sick? She said, no, you need to act as if it's already done. It's a done deal. Nothing's impossible for God. Now, if you grew up in the church, you understand that, but there's also a scientific reason behind it. The law of attraction. If you believe your body is already healed, your body starts to work to heal itself. the scientific law behind it. Church has been talking about it for centuries. So you've got to have excitement for what you do, for what's coming, and be thankful and show gratitude. John Hall is right. Show gratitude for it. This will be an emotional roller coaster. Don't make your highs too high, your lows too lows. You know, when I have a lot of success, I don't lose my doggone mind because I'm having success. And when things are not going my way, I don't lose my mind that things aren't going my way yet. You know, it's trying at times. No, don't make your highs too high, your lows too low. It will be an up and down roller coaster ride. Know that some will, some won't, some wait. So what next? The greatest revenge is massive success. I love this quote by Martin Luther King. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. That's when you know where your real friends are. You know, it was easy. Have you ever been in a situation as I was where you were broke and then you had a whole lot of money and then all of a sudden, you know, things happen, you went broke again. It's during those times, who's still around? What happened to all those friends, all those followers and sycophants? Where'd they go? How do you handle yourself now that times are hard? The real you comes out. That's when you can really tell the measure of a man. And sometimes problems don't require a solution to solve them. Instead, they require maturity to outgrow them. In other words, you ever heard that term, more money, more problems? See, just because you're rich and wealthy doesn't mean you don't have problems. You just have a higher level of problems that the average person doesn't even know exists. And for you to move on to the next level, you've got to outgrow where you currently are. To have more in life, you must become more. It is impossible to get more out of life and maintain where you are. I have a YouTube video out there. I'm in my kitchen and I've got two glass bowls. One's bigger than the other. And I say the small glass bowl is where you start. And let's say, you know, you got yourself positioned in an opportunity where people are making millions. And you start pouring water into that bowl. And it's a small bowl, a small cup. And your cup fills up. But you continue pouring water on it. What happens to the excess water? It spills over and you can't capture it. So you always wonder, man, how come I'm not growing? How come I'm not getting more? Because the cup you're working with can't hold any more. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You know, I always say this. You can show me the worst company out there and I'll show you somebody making 7 figures. You can show me the best company out there and I'll show you somebody broke in it. It's not the opportunity. It's the individual. Your cup isn't big enough. You haven't grown enough to be able to hold more of the blessings. Because if you have a bigger cup, you can hold more water. So you have to become bigger. You have to grow more. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting a different result. Are you growing? This is why I am so big on personal development. If you go through my history, so big on personal development. It's everything. Oh, I haven't done this one in a long time. Personality traits. When you're out there talking to people, most people fall into 4 traits: shark, whales, dolphins, and urchins. Most people fall into these 4 traits. What are they? Sharks, they're driven by money. They're driven by respect. They're driven by power. You can tell by the colors they wear, by the suits they wear. Power movers. Whales, they're motivated by helping people. Look at people's profession, you know, nurses, doctors, who work in churches, teachers. You know, whales, they like helping people. If you approach a whale talking about how much money they can make, they're turned off by that. That's not what's going to motivate them. Dolphins. Dolphins love to have fun. Where the party at? Doesn't matter if people are making money or if they're helping people. Where's the party at? Then you have urchins. Oh, Lord, I can't stand the urchins. I love them, but I can't stand them. They're the biggest drain on my energy, my mentality, my mental fortitude, and my time. Urchins need to know all of the facts before they move a muscle, and it's so much against the opposite of my nature. That's why it hurts me the most. Urchins will not move a muscle, and it's not that it's wrong for it. How can I move and talk to people about this business if I don't understand it? I need to know everything. I mean, when was the company founded? Where's the corporate headquarters? What's the CEO's social security number? Do you have his telephone number? Does he have access? What size pants does he wear? I mean, does he brush his teeth in the morning? You know, urchins need to know everything, and not really so that they can make a decision, but mostly because they feel more comfortable that they got all they dotted all their I's and crossed their T's. But the one thing about urchins is once they make a decision, because they're the slowest ones at making the decision, but once they make a decision, they end up making the most money because then they turn into either a dolphin, a whale, or a shark. More than likely, they turn into a shark. Urchins do. And nothing can shake them because they did their homework. They did their research. You can't tell them nothing. And they go, balls to the wall after that. Identify what trait you are. Let me ask you guys a question. Which dominant trait do you think I am? Which dominant trait do you think I am? Those of you that's worked with me, know me. Anybody have an idea? Ray says I'm a whale. Anybody else? And that's okay if you don't want to say nothing. I'll give you an example of my own family, those who know me. My brother would call me a dolphin. My brother. My wife would say I'm a whale. My father would say I'm a shark. My mother would say I'm an urchin. She's just so amazed by the facts and stuff that I know. So we got two people that say I'm a whale. My dominant trait is a shark. I'm a shark. That's my dominant trait. Second trait is whale. If you want to be successful in this space that where you have to deal with people, you must embody all of the traits. Most people who are whales think that I'm a whale. Most people who are sharks think that I'm a shark. Because when I talk to them, I know how to speak on what I know is going to get their attention. I learned this from way back in my ACN days. When I get on the phone with somebody, it only takes me maybe 10 seconds to figure out what their dominant trait is. And I know how to talk to them. If I'm talking to a urchin, I know I'm not going to talk to them about helping people and making money. I'm going to talk to them about the facts. I'm going to break down all the knowledge. If I'm on the phone with a dolphin, I'm going to talk about how much fun we're having. Do you know where we traveled last year? We went to the UK. We also went to Italy. We went to the Greek islands. I've got videos on YouTube with me and my wife traveling, taking cruises. That's what I talk about, what money can do for you. If I'm talking to a whale, I'm talking about, you know how many people we can help? How many single moms out there? How many people that are stressed over in their finances and we're able to help them out? If I'm talking to a shark, I'm talking about how would you like to be a millionaire in 12 months? See, you got to know these traits, identify what you are, and then be able to identify other people you come in contact with so that you can have a conversation on their level. The mistake most people make is they try to have conversations with people on your own level, and they may not be on your level. Here's one thing that I've learned hanging around millionaires. They have different conversations with each other than they do with the rest of everybody else. It's not the same conversation. They speak to you on your level because in their mind, you're not qualified to be able to have the conversation that they're having on their own level. This is a fact. So know your personality traits. I can spend a whole training on these traits and also the feel, felt, found method. Learned that by Steve Carter 15, almost 17 years ago. Positives up, negatives down, all that, positives down, negatives up. All that means is, when you're going through things, you don't want Facebook and your downline to be your sounding board, bringing negativity to everybody. You only bring positivity to your team and organization. Find somebody that you can vent to. If it's your upline, you can vent to them. Don't come running to me. I hate when I need to take this one off because then everybody comes running over to me. They want to vent and tell me negative. So I don't want to hear all that because you're bringing me down. But don't bring, this old saying, never let them see you sweat. Never let them see you sweat. Be positive. This is an old slide. See yourself, okay, whatever company you may be a part of, a lot of companies have ranks. If you're on a 9-to-5 job, the top manager or CEO or something, you got to see yourself at that top position or where you want to be financially. You're a millionaire because perception becomes reality. And here's a gut punch. Walk into the bathroom, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself this question. Would I do business with you? Yes or no? And be honest, because you're only talking to yourself. If you lie to yourself, you are in very big trouble. I guarantee you will go no further than where you are right now. If you do by luck or chance, you won't be able to sustain it. If the answer is no, that's okay. Now you can be honest and say, where do I want to be? And now you know what to work on to become that type of person. When I did that to myself, the answer was, hell no, I don't want to sign up with me. Okay, what type of person would I want to sign up with? So I listed on myself, I wrote it all down. The type of person that I'd want to sign up with, that's the type of person I want to become. That's why I act the way I do when it comes to the team. Why I make myself available. Why I try to help everybody. Why I do three-way calls. Why I answer questions. Because that's what I want to have if I were to sign up with somebody. I become that person. Most people are like, I can't wait till I sign up a heavy hitter that can do all the work. Heavy hitters don't sign up with losers. Winners sign up with winners. We identify each other. So you have to become a winner to attract other winners. Perception becomes reality. And this is a powerful statement. And we're going to end with this. You don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. Les Brown said that. What does that mean? Who are you? What are you? What's your thought process like? Because everybody wants riches, but not everybody's going to get it because that's not what they are. Do you realize most people have a negative connotation of money in their mind? Anytime they think of money, it brings up a negative thought. Lack of money. I got to pay bills. I don't have enough money for food. I got to pay this debt. I'm not making enough of it. So money elicits a negative response in your body. Your brain picks that up. Do you realize that broke people think about money far more than wealthy people do? And this is something that broke people cannot understand. What are you talking about? They're rich. It's because they're rich, they don't need to think about money anymore. When they go into a grocery store, do they ever look at the price tag of anything? When they go into shopping, do they care about what the price is? Are they spending their days worried about, are they going to be able to pay rent? Where are they going to get the money to pay their cell phone bill? Or put gas in the car? God forbid the car breaks down right at the end of the month when you got to pay bills. You got to choose what to do. They don't have those thoughts. Broke people think about money far more. And when they think about money, it's on the negative side, not a positive side. Rich people think of money as a resource, as energy. The more of it they have, the more they're able to do. It doesn't define them. You ever wonder why people that are wealthy can be depressed, can commit suicide, can become drug addicts and things? Here's why. They have now bought back their time, meaning when you're spending 40, 50, 60 hours a week on your job, you're focused on your job. What if you had 40, 50, 60 hours a week to yourself and you're focusing on yourself and your own desires? Now you're who you really are. And for some people, that makes them feel empty. And they try to fill it by buying more stuff. But once they have nothing else to buy, they feel empty again. They don't feel like they have a purpose. What's their purpose in life? They haven't figured that out. Money doesn't give you your purpose in life. You have to define what your purpose is, that what you want to do with it once you've got freedom. Here's another way of looking at things. Let's say there's a woman, and we all know a woman like this. She's been in a bad relationship all her life. It's like every man she dates is the same dude with a different name. And one day her girlfriend said, you know what, maybe you need to go to therapy or something, or counseling. So she goes, and the therapist says, let me ask you a simple question. What is it that you want in a man? And her answer is, well, I don't want a man who treats me bad. I don't want a man who, does drugs. I don't want a man who stays out late with the boys. I don't want a man who comes home drunk all the time or high. I don't want a man who disrespects my children, who physically and verbally abuses me, makes me feel bad. I don't want a man like that. Now, doesn't that make sense? Who would want a man like that, ladies? But guess what? She didn't answer the question. That wasn't the question. The question was, what do you want in a man? She's so focused on the negative stuff that she never has time to focus on what she actually wants. And then she said, oh, well, I want a man who can provide for his family. I want a man who can make me feel safe. I want a man who loves and cherishes me. I want a man who loves my children. I want a man who loves to spend time with me and give me the world. I want a man who makes me laugh and smile. She says, okay, stop right there. How does that make you feel? Makes me feel great. Makes me feel fantastic. That's what you need to focus on. So now you can attract guys like that. You guys understand the moral of that story? The same thing goes in business. What are you focusing on? When I had my mental breakthrough, I think it was 2000, the end of 2010 going into 2011. There's two things that I did at that time. I read a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And I listened to an audio series called Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. It's like a light bulb went off in my head on those two events. And I said to myself at that time, I need to make, because my business wasn't going so well at the time. I was at a point in my life where I was drowning. I was coming upon Christmas. And I said, I need to make $10,000 by the end of the year on top of the job I had. But looking at the team that I was working with, it was impossible that was going to happen. There was no way. I wasn't going to get a raise on my job. I wasn't going to all of a sudden win the lottery. I wasn't going to get an inheritance from a family member who passed away. Where was that extra money coming from? I don't know. But I listened to that, and I started to change the way I thought. I started to let go. See, here's an example. Especially men have it bad this way because we want to control things. We look at the life through a spectrum, like a magnifying glass. And that's all we see, what's in our sphere of influence. And think if you take this magnifying glass, you go over an ant colony. Can that magnifying glass pick up the entire ant colony? No. You only see what's in the magnifying glass, like on a submarine, like on a sonar. If you work for air traffic control, you only see the planes on the radar that comes into your airspace. However, are there planes outside of that radar that's influencing other planes that's inside yours? Yes. Are there ants in the colony doing stuff that's going to impact what you see on the inside? Yes. Same thing about life. There are things happening outside of your field of vision that's going to impact what's going on in your world right now. You just can't see it. This is where they say having faith comes into play. Because when you pray for something and the Lord starts moving things around outside of your influence to make things happen, you don't see it. So here's what happens. You've got to have faith and let go and trust that the process is going to work. And I let go, and that was hard to do. I let go. I said, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I trust that it's going to happen. By the end of the year, I had the $10,000. You know where it came from? One, there was a tax return error from 3 years before. That's part of it. Another was somebody joined my business, and that's a whole other story on how that happened, because it could have easily not happened if I decided to stay in bed that morning and not do the presentation, because he was the only person that showed up, and he showed up 10 minutes late. And I was just about to shut down and go back to sleep. It was raining, it was cold, I wanted to go curl up with my wife, and I didn't. I sat there and remained disciplined. I was like, I'm going to do this presentation even if there's nobody on, as if there's 100 people on. I did it anyway. And that person changed my life for that time period. Things happen. So what are you thinking of right now? What are you focusing on? And I promised at the beginning I was going to share a personal testimonial at the end about how this has worked for me right now. Planting seeds. See, we've been planting seeds for the last 12 months, more than 12 months now, probably 14 months now. And we were finding resistance everywhere we hit. It's not that we weren't performing. We were performing. I was still top producer of everything, but things outside of our control were happening to derail it. Oh, it's like the door kept getting shut on us over and over and over, to a point where I almost went into, not say almost, I was in a deep depression, and nobody knew it. I never shared it. You would never known it. The only ones is, the people close to me that can see it. They can hear it in my voice. They can feel it on me. But I kept planting my seed. I kept moving forward. I kept moving forward. I said, you know what? I will make an extra $30,000 by the end of the year. That was one of my goals. I think I set that in sometime in August. So I need to make an extra 30 grand by the end of this year. Do you know, as of right now, I've already earned $18,000 since August, which means to meet my goal of 30 grand by the end of the year, I only have 12,000 to go. I may make another $12,000 by the end of this month. But none of that would have happened if I didn't have the right mindset. I had to switch my mindset from MLM to investor cryptocurrency. You can't have the same mindset in both. It's completely different. How you attack things, how you talk to people, how you prepare yourself. I had to switch my mindset. I had to do the unknown, get out of my comfort zone, think differently, try something I've never tried before. And that's the only way for you to grow to the next level. So with that, that is the conclusion of this mindset training. I feel so much better because none of this information that I shared is my information. I didn't make it up. This is information that I was taught and that I learned from reading, and I'm just regurgitating it with my own personal experience on top of it. So whenever I do a mindset training, it pumps me up and I'm learning at the same time because I'm being reminded about things. It's like fuel for me. And I haven't done one in 6 months. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to find this video here. Powerful video for entrepreneurs. This is really how it is as an entrepreneur. It may be rough at the beginning, but you have to keep at it, keep at it, keep at it until you have your breakthrough. Tyler Perry took him 8 years when people kept telling him to quit. Stop spending your money. Give it up. Had he listened to them, he'd be on a job somewhere right now. Now he's worth over $500 million. So with that, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We will get back to our regular scheduled crypto training next Saturday. We have a team call tomorrow night, same time. You know the telephone number. I'll go ahead and type it in here. 712-432-0075, PIN 865707#. I hope you guys learned from this and you're able to apply it in your life. So with that, here's the last video. See you all tomorrow night. God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.
Most people only pay attention to the final product of a successful entrepreneur. They say things like, I can never be like them, or they got lucky. What most don't see is what they've overcome. All the struggles, the daily rejections, the heartaches, the betrayals, the rumors, the criticism, the empty bank account, and all those lonely nights while trying to make their vision a reality. You see, the only difference between the one who quits and the one who doesn't is that they showed up every day. They worked hard every day. They hustled every day. They learned from a proven mentor every day. They improved every day. They did all this even though they felt like quitting every day. And eventually, they became who they are today.